Good to be back to Clockaware live, baby. It's real good to be back, man. I want to touch on that a little bit too, man. Toucan, man, he's a really good friend of mine, man, and it's good to return back to the station, man. So, like a month or so ago, little month and a half, I was thinking about coming back to Clockaware, man. I'm gonna tell y'all how life worked. My man EA called me, man. One of my good brothers in this entertainment. One of my business partners said, "Day, you need to come back to Glockaware, man." And I said, you know what, I was thinking that, man. And it's good sometimes to have brothers on the outside that's thinking like you thinking, man, and y'all don't have to talk all the time, man. It's just big business, you know. But you know, how you leave some places is how you return, man. So, you know, I left here on a good note and I'm back. And it's time to tear this shit up, man. We got some exciting episodes coming, man. Good guests. Everything is just back to normal and I feel good, man. So my first episode back, man, I got this good brother Umar, man. This is a real good brother, man. Fresh home, been out a couple weeks, man. He got a real good story. He on a mission. I like his ambition. I like what he pushing. I like what he talking about. We done had a lot of deep conversations in the last couple weeks, man, and we're gonna be touching on a couple of them conversations, man. But just good to be back, man. What's up, good brother? How you feeling,
Hello,
man?
man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Walaikum
barakatuh.
assalam, rahmatullah, barakatuh. And shout out to all the Muslims that's fasting. We're in the month of Ramadan, man. Shout out to all my Muslims that's fasting out there. And if you ain't fasting because of medical reasons or whatever, Allah knows best, man. Hopefully we can do something else. Feed the fasting Muslims, feed the community, and just get better as a people, man. That's all we try to do, man. We not perfect, man. Let's just try. You know what I mean? Yeah, so what's going on, huh?
Slow motion, man.
Yeah,
Slow
yeah.
motion. Just trying to enjoy this new chapter, man.
Yeah, man. 2 weeks out, man. You how long you was down for, man?
10 years.
10 years,
10
man.
years.
10 years, man. So what changed the most, man, since you've been gone, man? What changed the most, man?
I can honestly say in the last 10 years, it just feel like it's no unity in the streets. Like everybody for self. Everywhere I go, everybody shooting their own movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Ain't nobody collaborating on nothing, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
you talking to the mic. All right. Yeah, see, the thing is, a lot changed, man. You know, on the streets, I can imagine in 10 years, man. We definitely not as unified, man. In the streets, the whole street economic and what they doing on the streets changed a lot, man. You know,
Yeah.
so man, you was getting into a little bit about the young guys, man. I was looking at this new, you know, indictment where they indicted a bunch of the young boys in Philly due to the you know, the gang violence and what they saying in the music and everything.
Yeah.
And I just see it's like a real ripple effect, man. You know, Lil Durk locked up. They're trying to use a lot of his music.
Yeah. Free
So I'm
Dirk,
trying to
man.
figure out, when do we start changing as a people to see that we all on camera, we being taped, is people listening to the music? When do we become smarter as a people, man?
I think that's an excuse that we like to use a lot. The music. The music ain't make me do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I did what I did because I wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think like a lot of times when we blaming the music or blaming what the young boys is doing, saying they listening to the music, no, it ain't the music. It's they old heads and they pops. Like America got the highest percentage of single parent households in the world. Where all the fathers at?
Well, see, I try to tap into that last season on Filoosh Talk. We got to get into our relationships with the women. You know, we having kids with women that we're not really connected to. So it's causing a single parent household. Sometimes before the women even conceive the kids these days, man. Women pregnant broke up with the guys right now, man. It's like a thing. You know what I mean?
But yeah, that's is a thing that shouldn't be a thing. Like I'm a father, I'm a grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
A dude can't tell me, oh, I'm not in my child's life because of the mother did this or the mother did that. You created that child. You brought that child in this world. You, as a man, you did that. You laid down with that girl. You made that decision. So what about your responsibility to take care of that child? Because our women suffering, our women struggling behind this shit, man.
So how do we, when you run into a complicated woman that might make that process hard, how does a father get around that? How does he you know
No matter, you first and foremost, you gotta be mentally stable,
right.
emotionally intelligent. When
Mm-hmm.
you hear people use those type of words, this is what it means.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to, as a man, as a grown man, you should be able to go sit down with this woman and have a conversation and say, listen, whatever we going through, let's put that to the side. Because my child is the one that's suffering, not us. We grown, we cool. The kids suffer while y'all beefing. As a man, how you can't be the leader of your team and say, look, babe, let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk.
Well, see, I think sometimes what disturbs that process is when we stop worried about just the kid. You know, it's inevitable. A lot of us gonna break up with our baby moms, with our mate, if it's not done properly, or we're not loving each other properly. The next step is how are we gonna get along. So what happens sometimes? Men make kids and they might go get another woman, they might make another baby, and it triggers that woman not to want to have none of those
But
talks.
what about the fact that once you make the decision to leave, you're not looking back for that child. You're not feeding, you're not putting no clothes on his back. You ain't talking to him about nothing. You talking about the young boy got these straps and they got these 30s and they doing whatever they doing. But where his pop at to sit him down and have a conversation and say, yo, bro, you gotta respect life.
Well, see, for me, my total belief, right? I had two young men, man, I was fighting in court with for years. I just wanted full custody. You know what I mean? So I can cut through a lot of them avenues and help them when they run into little stuff they need to maneuver through, and they run into problems in the hood, problems with women, hygiene, whatever they think might be. You know, the women got to put the responsibility on the father to handle that. If you got a dad that's responsible and he close by, and definitely if the child is a male, I'm always say this, man, send him with his dad. He can ready go through puberty. He can ready go through some stuff in the city. Send him with pops, man, full time. It shouldn't be no reason why not.
But
That's
like,
just my opinion,
but
man.
like my daughter mom just told me, it's like I give you my child, and then everybody in the streets, everybody on social media, my family, so forth and so on, they asking me, why you give your child up, girl?
Well, see, I think
What she look like giving her child up?
that's different. You talking about a daughter? I'm talking about young men.
Young boys too.
That should be an easy thought. I don't think nobody would question that. If a father had full custody and the mom gave the boys to the father, I don't think nobody would question that in
No,
this day
of
society.
course nobody's everybody.
Young teenage boys, man.
Especially as black men. That's one thing as black men. We want to see our children. We want to see our boys with their fathers.
Mhm.
That's the goal.
Right.
That's the goal we all should be working for. But when you got fathers, my thing is this. When you got fathers that's not willing to be in these child's and these boys' lives, and these boys turn up the way that they do, don't blame them women.
Hmm. I agree
Don't
with that.
blame them women.
I agree with
Because
that.
that's your responsibility. As a man, you the head of your team. You here to lead your team. You're a protector. You're a provider. You're an educator. Lead your team.
So, how do the young guys adapt and come into the prison system when they 15, 16, 17, catching these bodies and they come onto the block just meeting guys like you that's a little seasoned, been in the system?
Right.
What's the shell shock for these guys,
It varies.
man? Okay.
It varies. Everybody different. Everybody gonna carry it different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I could tell you for sure is this: it don't take long to adjust. Just for the simple fact that I look at it like this: the majority of young black men that's entering the prison system already come from households where they on welfare. So when you getting them food stamps, you buying oodles and noodles.
Mm-hmm.
You buying a bunch of carbohydrates to stretch so everybody can eat.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on in the prison system. They giving out a bunch of carbohydrates. You dig what I'm saying? So what's affecting me when I just come from eating out of Save-A-Lot and now I gotta sit down and eat this jail food?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no difference. It's the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same shit. The shock value come in when you say, okay, now I just came from pushing my pistol in these streets. I just came from doing what I was doing in the streets. Now there ain't no guns inside here, cuz. What you gonna do without that junk?
How fast do you need to get a shank when you come into the prison? How fast is
For
that?
some of for sure, the way that shit up in the city right now, niggas come through the door like, I need a jump, bro. Like, let me get a jump. Like, fuck that. Fuck that phone. Fuck commissary. Fuck all that. I need a jump.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we just got to figure out a lot of ways that we can stop and help prior that a lot of these guys, they're not experienced, they haven't experienced life properly. And, they get like 10 minutes of fame, man. This little Philly scoreboard and these little apps, they be on for 5 or 10 minutes. Then they don't talk about the young boys no more a couple weeks later. So we just got to switch it up before we get to these levels, man, to these courts where these judges is not turning back. They giving us more and more time, put more laws in place
They
to give us more time.
They like, I don't mean to cut you off, bro. It's like when it comes down to the school system, that's another topic, man. And like, just let me know, man. I'm ready to give it to you, man, cause the people got to hear this shit, man.
So what is the education level for most of these guys coming into the state penitentiary, and what are they doing? Are they still going to school? Do they still get their college degree and all that?
All right, first and foremost, this is what it is, right? The Pennsylvania Department of Corrections. You have a name that's called the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections. But the question is, what are they correcting?
Mm-hmm.
What are they correcting? When your family members is in these cells and they in these jails and they being held in these prisons, you gotta ask yourself, like, what's going on with my child? What's going on with my brother? Because I remember when I was a young boy and I first came to prison, it was like people had an expectation of you. Like, if you was skinny, you came home bigger. If you was fat, you lost the weight. You dig what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Dudes was coming home. The Muslims was coming home. They were sharp. The dean was sharp.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You had an expectation when your family members was coming home. He gonna be a little bit better than when he was when he went in.
Right.
That's not going on today. You got a bunch of young men being warehoused like sardines. They just sitting in cells. Ain't no schools. They can't get in their programs. They telling them that you can't get in your program until you 5 months close to your minimum. I'm 5 months close to my minimum of going home, and you just put me in my program? You just letting me get my GED?
Oh.
Now when I come up and go see the parole board, now the parole board give you a year hit. Here, you don't got your programs complete. But that wasn't my responsibility. Right. That was their responsibility to put me in my program. And that's what's going on with a lot of people, family members. You wondering why Mike ain't coming home this year? Because Mike just got a hit. Because Mike ain't want to go to school.
Oh. I got a question, right? A lot of young guys be deterred to work out here, right? I want to know, how much do you make if you're a worker inside of the prisons? How much do they pay you weekly and monthly?
You make 19 cents. You make 19 cents an hour. The highest pay rate in the prison system right now is probably the laundry, working in the laundry. But every jail ain't got a laundry detail, working in the laundry room. Mm-hmm. Them boys is bringing back like maybe $100 a month.
Mm.
But on the average kitchen workers, they making $40, $50 at the most
Mm. A month.
a month.
Phew.
That's why I tell you, like my mom, like, cause I'm on the phone, cause I don't eat the jailhouse food, so I'm on the phone constantly calling my folks for a cash app.
Mhm.
Your folks locked up, they keep calling for cash apps. Yeah, it's a reason. Them boys trying to eat. Boys trying to eat. You can't do nothing with no $40 a month.
So how is it for the people that don't have nobody to call, no cash apps coming in? What they gotta do?
Man, you got them boys do whatever, man. They wash clothes. You know what I'm saying? Wash clothes. You got people that sew, make cards. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Birthday cards, little napkins, little hankies and shit like that for like the Eagles fan. You an Eagles fan? You got a hanky hanging up in your room. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Little
Okay.
picture on the wall.
Okay. They make hustles. They
You
coming up with
find,
they.
yeah,
You
you
coming up
a
with their
bunch
own
of
hustle.
trappers. That's all it is. You got a bunch of talented people in jail wasting their talent. Wasting their talent. You gotta see some of that. That shit'll blow your mind.
And how is drugs in the prisons, man?
What you want? What we
Somebody
doing?
asking. Oh,
What we
okay.
doing?
EA on there. Okay.
Exactly.
What about outside the jail?
Outside the jail, what? What about outside the jail?
Like in the yard, they might be asking what's going on in the
In the
prison
yard,
yards.
like you said, like the drugs, like real rap, like people ain't like. That's one thing for sure. Like I stand on principle, man. I stand on the code, like so. It's certain shit, certain questions I'ma answer them, but it's certain shit I ain't willing to say. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
But for sure, I'm gonna give it to you as raw as I possibly can. Anything you want, you could get your hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want.
Anything you want, you can get in prison.
What you want? What we talking about?
Money can buy.
What you doing?
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
That's heavy,
If
man.
you if your team strapped, you gonna have whatever you want. It's
So
nothing. I don't go without nothing, Dad.
so what about fighting in prison? Do these guys be really getting it in, or do dudes be sifting through the cracks? Do they
No,
be really getting
no,
it in,
no,
rumbling in these
no.
prisons,
Yeah,
man?
you definitely gonna tear it up.
For sure.
Definitely, the prison system definitely changed. Like back then, when I first started going, I went to prison my first time. I was 19. I was 19, and I come from South Philly, so it was like growing up in the late 80s and early 90s. We come up fighting. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So fighting really wasn't about shit. Everybody could fight. But it's like this era right now, and these young boys coming in right now, oh, they ain't doing no fighting.
They ain't no fight.
No, the prison system is not violent like that no more. It ain't like that.
It ain't that bad.
Yeah, I don't even say it's prison no more. It's just an institution. Cause it went from a prison system to an institution. Now
Right.
everything is mental.
Right.
You dealing with psychologists, psychiatrists on a major level. They got this thing called a PSS, which is a certified peer assistant. If you having a mental breakdown, they pull you to the side, go talk to them, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like even with these young boys, when it comes down to the physical activity, it's like back then you was just we was rumbling.
Right.
We was going to cell, we was going to tear that shit up.
Now they got.
But now it's just like everybody trying to talk their way out of some shit.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good way to me in some sense because I gave up the fact of not wanting to hurt my people no more. I vowed that I would never hurt another black man in my life.
That's a blessing. That's
Wallahi.
alhamdulillah. That's alhamdulillah.
That's my goal. I don't want to do nothing to nobody else's child no more. And that come with selling drugs, putting drugs in my community, or doing whatever it is that I was doing to individuals.
At what time did you get to that point? Was it part of in your sentence?
This year, maybe
Maturity?
when I fell 17, I made a decision because when I fell 17, I picked the phone up. I caught this case out Scranton. When I got in Lackawanna County, I picked the phone up. You know, the first phone call, Mom Dukes. Call Mom Dukes, make sure Mom Dukes all right, make sure she know what's going on. I called Mom Dukes and my sister told me, she said, yo, mommy trying to climb the walls. I'm like, what? Like, fuck you mean she trying to climb the wall? She like, she can't handle the fact that you locked up again.
Ooh. Deep.
She can't handle it. So she getting ready to get 302. We getting ready to take her to a hospital. So me as a man, I'm my mom's only son. My mom, my best friend. So me as a son, I knew that at that point right there, I don't never want to make my mom feel like that again.
That's deep, man. That's deep.
I don't want to make my baby feel like that again. I don't want to abandon my sisters. You go to jail, you leave your sisters out here. You leave your aunts, your cousins, all the women that you a man. So that's your responsibility.
Did all of them come to your trial or knew how much time you had, or you just kept that away from them?
My folks don't do jail.
Right.
They ain't with that.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like my mom always told me, you go to jail, you on your own. So I always knew in the streets that when I was getting money, I knew I had to have lawyer money.
Right.
I knew I had to have bail money.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. I left home when I was 14. I ain't been back to my mother's house since I was 14.
That's heavy.
So if I ain't had my own money, I was gone. I was dead.
Right.
Wasn't nobody taking care. What? Nigga, you out there selling drugs, nigga? That's what my mom told. That's what I tell everybody all the time. My mother made me a man.
So while you locked down, back to being in the joint, what kind of stories, man? Is everybody a drug lord, a kingpin, the richest guy that you ever met? They be telling you crazy stuff?
How the Army John go? How that Army song go? You remember that commercial?
Which one?
Be all that you can be. That John?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what jail is. Be all you could be. You could tell me anything. That's what I don't go for. Me personally, I ain't trying to hear your story, cuz. Where we're at.
You don't be wanting to hear the story?
For what?
Oh, man.
For what? We're not trying. Go get your paperwork. Let me see your paperwork, nigga. Don't just come out here talking to me. Don't tell me you shot 10 people. And on your paper, you got caught with a 22 and then one wasn't even in the head. Go get your paperwork. I'm not trying to hear no war stories. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to evolve as a man, me personally. Don't get it chopped. Like sometimes I got my guys that I kick it with. I talk football with. You know what I'm saying? Bron James, Kobe Bryant, Mike Jordan conversation.
Right.
Kobe the GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
Over MJ?
Kobe the GOAT.
Over MJ?
Kobe the GOAT.
Over
Kobe the GOAT.
I'm gonna let you slide. I'm gonna let you slide.
My man Bean. My man Bean. But real rap, like I get into the conversations, but bro, like I don't be entertaining that shit. Like I don't entertain that type of shit. I want to talk about some financial literacy. I want to talk about how to get some money. Cause I ain't going back to the streets. I ain't hustling no more.
So what's your new goals, man? What you trying to do? You back out, man, fresh start. Anything you want to do, man? What you trying to do, man?
My ultimate goal is to create a nonprofit. I want my own nonprofit to help single mothers that's raising young black men without the support of adequate father figures inside of the home. In order to have a nonprofit, though, it can't be specifically for black people. Like it has to be for everybody. So that's something that I'm learning. Like my education is very important to me. That's something that I'm learning how to go about getting my 501c3, which is a tax exemption for a nonprofit. But that's what I want my nonprofit for. I want to help single parent households. I want to help women that's raising these children without the support of men.
That's heavy.
I wanna have these rough conversations, man. Mental health is another thing that's very important to me. I'm going to school. I'm about to enroll in school to go get my CPS certification. That's a certified peer assistant. That's the people that do what you do, like work in your building.
No sure.
Be able to sit down and talk people that's going through mental health crises and things like that.
And I told you you could do it, man, because
Absolutely.
you speak well. You love to help people. Good position for you, man.
Absolutely.
And that's what we gotta do. We gotta learn, like, how can we help each other, man, on a positive level. Not get no bundles of coke or dope or nothing. No, how can we get legit now? Clean our paperwork up, clean our lives up. Want for our brother what we want for ourselves. So when we do that, we gotta be a resource to each other, man. Really give some people some leads, help brothers get jobs. We can't be holding in no information, man. We in a day and age where we need each other, man.
But that's another thing I noticed. Like, it is like, don't get it wrong. Like, I'm hard on the men. Don't get it fucked up. I'm hard on the guys, like, cause I like my guys to be, like, be in position. I like my guys to be sturdy. So I am hard on the men, man. Like, but my guys know, like, I let them bulls. Like, them bulls call me from the jails. Like, they know I ask them every day, like, what's up? You reading? Like, what you read? Like, when you talk about supporting your team or supporting your family that's locked up, like, I think, like, the educational part about it is missing. Like, sometimes when your folks call home from jail and be like, damn, you got $20, $30 for me, it's like, no, I don't, but I just went to Amazon and ordered you some books. You know what I'm saying? That's support. And that's the support I think that's needed. Like, we gotta read more. Not just us inside of the prison system.
All of us.
Even out here, like, I be looking, I be like, go in people's house, I'm like, yo, you ain't got no library? Like, where your books at?
Well, now they done got into so many audio books. People
it's on your
reading
phone. Yeah.
hard books less, man. Is much less read. Even for our kids, man. Everything on their phone. They do a math problem. They Google it. We got to get back to the hard books to where we really learning and teaching each other. You know what I mean?
That's the technological world we live in, man. Technology is everything. Like, I told you, we went out to go eat at the restaurant, and they talking about, scan the QR code. I said, what?
For the menu, for everything. To pay, they got robots in restaurants now, man, bringing you your order. We got to stay up with technology. That's why we got to stop fighting about surface stuff. Yeah, we got to get into big business and ownership, man. Or we always going to be working for somebody, So we got to start talking about our credits, what we doing with our finances, and bring it together so we can get some big businesses. Yeah. I was reading up on that black sister who owned Chick-fil-A on City Line, man. Real deep story, man. Probably in the 30s, man.
She an owner?
Yeah, franchising and everything. I was just thinking, we got to start bringing that to our family. When we having these big family dinners and all that, let's get 5, 10 people together, get their credits together, and really create generational wealth. Cause we definitely not doing that right now.
And that's what I'm going with now. And it's like my folks been asking me, like, even before I came home, like, my folks was asking me, like, like, what you gonna do? Like, what kind of clothes you want us to buy you? We want us to buy you this, and I'm like, nah, I want you to buy me things that's gonna put me in the positions to work. Like, well, I'm gonna spend $200 on a pair of Timbs or some Nike boots or something like that. I could grab some steel toe boots, and then I could go ahead and get me a job at a warehouse. You know what I'm saying? Right. Get me a flaggers position. The city is hiring on Sherelle Parker. She got this joint jumping. You know what I'm saying? Sherelle Parker making it good for dudes that's coming home. Like, if you can't get a job, that's what I'm saying. You gotta be motivated.
I want it. I always tell guys, work is out here. We gotta go get it. You gotta find out what your thing is, what your niche is, man. Go to school to be a barber. Go to school to be a plumber. Be an electrician. Get your CDL. You know what I mean? Work for the city. PGW. They taking felons. They taking people with records. You gotta go on that city website and apply every Monday, man. I used to do it, man. It's for all of us though. The water department, housing authority. Yeah, let's start getting it, bro. And guess what? Them guys are making what we used to call drug money.
I got a friend that worked for she worked on a trash truck. And she told me they was kind of mad in the union that the dudes that's coming home is getting more money than the dudes that been within the company. What?
But that's to let you know that we still blessed with opportunity. It's out there.
They is.
If you could get out of prison making 40, $50 a week, like he was just saying, and want to be a trash man and start a lightweight career, start a career period, this is what's needed in our community, man.
Yeah.
Young brothers get their own apartment. As men, we need that.
Yeah.
We always talk about women and love and all that. Man, we gotta stand on our own too, man. We gotta create our foundation.
Right.
Well, women not gonna really respect us.
But this is my question to you, because I hear you keep saying that.
Mm-hmm.
What the men have to do, right?
What's
What
the
these
question?
young boys gotta do. My question to you is, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is these young men going to know what to do if there is no one to teach them?
Well, we have people to teach, right? It's about some people have people in their corner. They have strong men in their family, or some young men don't have nobody in their household. I can't really speak. I can't really say what the young men can do that have nobody in their corner. I'm talking about for me, for my kids. When I speak,
Mm-hmm.
I always been a vessel for my kids, man. I'm always here for anything that my kids need.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's something that can interrupt that, of course it is. Yes, it is a million things. So you gotta sometime know what you're dealing with. You gotta know your mother and father. You gotta know your situation. You gotta know if you don't have no father, you don't have no mother. You gotta kind of know your situation. And these kids gotta grow up faster than we did. Yeah, it's a fast-paced world, man. Everything is digital, viral. So we gotta kind of know our situation to know how we gotta tackle the world. So some people are blessed. I'm blessed to have both of my parents to the age of 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else might not have the same blessing. So I cannot automatically put myself in their shoes.
Right.
I'm coming from a perspective. I come from love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't come from hate. I don't come from hate your mother, hate your baby mom, hate your kids. I come from love, man. Real education, trying to teach your kids, wanting the best for your kids. That's what I come from.
Yeah.
So that's all I know. I can't be no other way.
Yeah.
And my father, he was a stand-up guy in my eyes, man. And he was not a perfect man. And he taught me a lot about judging men. He showed me that you really can't judge a man. We can't judge a human being, period.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to be less judgmental. So now we're in a day and age where your kid can look at you when they're of age and say, yo, Dad, you ain't shit, man.
What?
You ain't been nothing to me. You ain't did this. You ain't did that.
What?
And see, when we came up, you couldn't really say that.
But you could, but it's a reason why, though.
The reason why is because years ago, they let the kids be kids and the adults be adults. When you start putting the kids in adult business, you telling the kids stuff that they don't need to know as a child, you putting them in all our business, that's what changed a lot. That's why the kids have a bigger opinion. So most of our kids are losing their youth. They losing on time of really being a kid and worried about kid stuff. Now they 10 and 11 and they know everything going on that adults know about.
And
that come from us. That come from us. That don't
Alright.
come from the government. That don't come from Donald Trump. That come from us and our households and the way we raise our kids.
Right.
So we gotta be in control.
But this is the thing though, right? Because you said that comes from us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, your upbringing was a lot different than my upbringing. You could speak for yourself, right? And what I'm telling you is that I grew up in a single parent household.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was left with the responsibility to raise me, and she did the best that she could. By the time I was 9 years old, I knew how to cook, clean, do laundry, wash clothes, and travel around the whole city of Philadelphia before I was 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mother worked multiple jobs, I had to get my little sister ready for school. You dig what I'm saying? Do her hair, make sure her studies was good with school. I had to take care of her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't blame my mother for saying I miss my childhood. No, I don't miss my childhood. I was forced to be a man because that was the position that God put me in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seen fit for me to be in that position. Right? So I come up with a different level of responsibility.
But do you see how you say you took on that responsibility? You remember you was 9 and what your mother taught you and how you had to sort of whether it's consciously or unconsciously, become the man of the house.
But that's what I said. My mother used to sit me down, and have conversations. This is what I was dark skinned. I was black. So she taught me self-esteem. My self-esteem always been up. You dig what I'm saying? I used to go to school. The kids used to be like, "You black as shit. You got me fucked up. I don't care. I know I look good."
Mm-hmm.
I learned that self-esteem. My self-esteem was built up from my mother.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying?
That's important.
Even when it came down to when I decided to go in the streets, my mom always told me, look a man in his eyes when you talking to him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Always do good business.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell. I knew we learned snitching is wrong from a very young age. My sister punched me in my mouth. I go in the room, tell my, "Hey mom, she hit." Nigga, shut up. What you talking about? What you talking about? Stop being a tattletale.
That's right.
So when these young boys get in the streets and they start telling when they catch these cases, you gotta hold them responsible for that. You learn telling wrong at a young age. Maybe
ain't like nobody to hold them responsible no more. They all chilling.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's where we missing our men at. Mm-hmm. Because as men, if you my man and I see you doing something out of pocket, it's my job to say, "Hey, Day, you gotta chill, bro. This is what it is." Mm-hmm. And as a man, you should be able to take that criticism and say, "You know what, homie, you right. I wasn't looking at it like that."
Right.
Men don't care about each other. You go through something in your situation with your wife. You and your wife going through something. Who you gonna go talk to about it? But you gonna go to social media?
We gotta have the men's group. We gotta have the fellas.
But you gonna come on and cast and say, "Damn, my baby ain't doing this right. They ain't doing," like, who you talking to?
Well, see as soldiers, man, you know, I got a tight grip of fellas, man, that I be with. That's my brothers, man. And we hold each other together. We hold each other accountable. We tell each other when we right and wrong. We on point. Small circle. Because you got to be able to talk to the men sometime and vent. Yeah. You know, we go through a lot in this world, man. You got to have somebody, some outlet, you know.
That's a fact.
With me losing both of my parents, you know, man, Allah bless their souls. You know, I just think different. You know, I don't have a lot of people to bust it up with. So, you know, my circle's small. We can call on each other for anything, man. That's important. Yeah. We all need that. We need somebody we can talk to, man. Mental health is real. Depression is real. Life is real. Tap into a little bit about mental health inside of the prison systems, man. How has mental health changed? How do you see what is going on with the mental health field inside of the prison system?
Well,
do guys be acting crazy, playing like they crazy, or do they really be having something going on?
Yeah, that's a bad job, man. Because it's like, that's one thing I don't respect. You could shoot everything up. You out here shooting everything up. But you come to prison and you tell them that you can't sleep at night. You need Rembrandts. You need Benadryl. You need this. You need whatever you need to escape reality. You need that. You're going to take that. Whatever pill it is, you're going to take it. I don't respect that shit, bro. I don't respect that shit. Because if you was out here pushing that pistol and doing everything that you was doing, you got to stand on what you did. And them nightmares is coming. The nightmares come with it. So when you talk about the mental health, you talk about why you can't sleep at night. You talk about why you feel sad, Why you feel lonely? Why you getting on this phone, cussing your girl out, cussing your mom out because she can't send you $10 or $20? You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's your mental health, man. It's called mental fortitude. This means to make your mind strong.
Mm.
Mental fortitude. And we lack in mental fortitude. And until we really start working on ourselves and build, because the prison system, they don't care about us. They don't care about us.
So you know I've been working in psych for years. So when you hear me very aggressive about the men, when you hear the stuff I be saying and what men need to do, that's because I work around highly populated units with men, man.
Right.
Mostly all men. I work around a lot of young men, 22. They girl just left them. They want to kill themselves. So I talk a lot about self-esteem, knowing who you are, finding yourself first. I'm always going to talk about that, man. Because if we keep running into these relationships and we don't know ourselves and we don't have no foundation for us already as men, we're never going to prosper, man. You know, because a person can crush your self-esteem, can crush your motivation, can crush your ambition. So if you don't have that already, it's going to be hard. So I just believe that men, we do have to build ourselves. And don't be scared to be alone, man. Sometimes you might have to rebuild, regroup. You know what I mean? Get sturdy again. You know, we can't keep going from this to that, to this to that. Our kids hurting, the women hurting, we hurting. No, sometimes we got to reset, man. Get in shape. You know what I mean? Get right. Mentally, physically, financially. Yeah, that's what we need. I'm always talk like that, man. Because I know a lot of us is lacking and we can't have that conversation. We trying to mask it with love and with all this other stuff. It ain't going to help us, man. A lot of that stuff be damaged before it start. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. And a lot of time you learn that with growth. You learn that with growth, man.
Takes maturity.
You know, me as a man, bro, I've been in relationships since I was 15 years old, man. You know what I mean? Like straight through my 20s, my 30s, 40s. Yeah, sometimes I think like, man, yeah, reset, man. Hit the reset button, bro. For real, I feel it. You know what I mean? So
my man Hill Harper got a good book out called My Incarcerated Brother, or A Letter to My Young Brother. They like must reads, man. I think everybody, not just the people that's incarcerated, but even those on the outside, man. It's by Hill Harper. It's called Letter to My Incarcerated Brother. And he talks about making pit stops. You know what I'm saying? He put the analogy that he used was like a race car driver, like your life, you like a car. You know what I mean? Race car driver driving you. He going around the track. But at some point he gotta pull over and get his tires changed, get his oils fixed. You know what I'm saying? All of these things got to be worked out on this car. So even in your life, sometimes we like, I looked at prison for me was like another pit stop for me. I had to pull over, had to sit down for a minute. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set me down for a minute and say, here, I'm going to put you in a place where you remember me the most.
Heavy.
You know what I'm saying?
That's for most of our brothers and sisters, man.
Because for sure, once you inside of that prison system, your prayers, everything is going to increase. Your imam, you're going to increase in your imam. Your imam is going to go up. Because he says imam increases with obedience and it decreases with disobedience. So when you come into the prison system, you have no choice but to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Offer the salat. Go perform the wudu. Offer the salat. You ain't got nothing but time on your hands. Why not get closer to your Lord?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's very important. That's an important point. You know, a lot of people say, hey, why do so many men go to jail and become Muslim? You know, and a lot of people don't understand that's when a lot of us be away from a lot of distractions where we can read more, where we can work on our body, where we can brush our waves, where we can be away from a lot of distractions. And it's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's needed. Sometimes these brothers that's going to prison might keep them off the street so they don't get killed right away, man. A lot of these guys are getting killed that stay out here or released early from prison. They end up getting murdered in the city, man.
Yeah.
So sometimes when a law sits you down for a break like that, respect it, man. Understand it. Know it's for a reason. We don't know the reason when it happened, but they killing a lot of our brothers, man, for senseless reasons, man. When you really dig into these stories and the backstories and the reasons why, it's senseless, man. Let's make sense of what we doing, man. And a lot of these guys, I don't know how prison work and when do they realize the crime that they actually committed and the time they actually have. When did that really become a reality? I don't know that part.
The reality kick is, like I said to you, man, it's different for different people, depending on your responsibility level.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because, okay, like say when I got incarcerated, I had my own crib. I had my own will. I got responsibilities. I'm paying bills.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yet and still, my mother, like I said, my mother like my best friend. You know what I'm saying? So every day I'm calling my mother. Every day I'm on the phone with her. Every day I'm going to a doctor's appointment somewhere like that. My sisters calling me like that shit. I ain't never feel so weak or as a man in my life. This time when I felt day, man, that shit hurt me so bad. Like when you hear Meek talk this expensive pain shit, this expensive pain, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm out here trying to live. I'm out here trying to do me. I'm out here trying to eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, me chasing a bag, the result of that is the hurt that my family experienced. Right. I abandoned my obligations. Mm-hmm. I'm the protector, the provider, the leader, the educator of my family.
Right.
You see, Day, when my sisters and them with me, they don't open no car doors.
Right.
Store doors, like that's my job.
That's a blessing.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you a big chest, big arms, big everything for a reason. That's right. Why you got that, to protect them women.
We gotta bring that back.
To protect them women.
Respect our women, our neighbors, our parents. We gotta bring them days back, man.
Like, real. Bro, that shit be hurting me so bad when I come home day, I be trying to talk to these women on the streets, and these women be like, "Oh, I'm independent. I don't need no man. I'm cool." That shit hurt me so bad, day.
But you still walking up, giving them the old school, "Hey, baby,
no,
how you doing?"
No, I'm saying like you.
No, well, you know what I'm saying. My point is, a lot of men ain't even coming up talking. You know, like back in the day, they typing on the internet, they inboxing. A lot of guys don't come up and say, "How you doing today, sister?" You know, I'm checking you out. That's hard to find. You know, so they might be a little shocked when you run up on them like that.
No, I'm saying like they be good. It be shocked. They be looking at me like, "Damn, who the fuck is dude?" Like, you know what I'm saying? But on some shit though, like, excuse me, how you doing? But they looking at me like, yo, like where you been? Like, I ain't never seen nothing like you. Like, what you doing? So then when I'm asking, like I ask a question like, "Excuse me, are you married?" "No, I ain't married, but I'm independent. I don't need no nigga." I'm like, damn, cuz.
You just trying to take them on a little date or something,
you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to take you out. You telling me you independent. I don't want none of your money, sweetheart. I'm cool. I'm good.
They might think you trying to hold on to them. You want them to take you out.
I be like, damn, like what the fuck what dudes did to these women? Like, what happened?
But that's what I was saying a few minutes ago.
What happened?
We got a lot of hurt souls out here, man. You know what I mean? Women and men that been through the ringer. Yeah, so man. Everybody look at stuff different. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't happy, bubbly. Hey, give me a number. Hey. Yeah. A lot of people got their guard up, man. And it just come from all the stuff we've been through in life,
it's definitely generational trauma, man.
Yeah, man. We got to change.
Generational trauma, man.
We gotta start figuring out how we gonna change, man.
Well, I know. For me, man, and I'm gonna push this all the way, man. Like it's a lot of people like that walk up to me. Like I be having conversations with people, and they be asking me like, "Well, what college did you go to?" Or "You speak so well." And I swear, man, wallahi, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate it so much because I spent 9 years of my life educating myself in the prison cell.
Mm-hmm.
Like my man Malcolm X said, "Where else but prison could have I attacked my ignorance so vigorously
Mm.
by studying up to 27 hours a day, but in prison?
Mm. Steep.
Where else? You ain't got nothing but time on your hands." So that's what I did, man. I used my prison cell. I bought myself a bunch of dictionaries, encyclopedias,
Mm-hmm.
and I studied mental health, cognitive behavioral theories. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Generational trauma. I followed the boy. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he a clinical psychiatrist, one of the first black clinical psychiatrists in this country. His name is Dr. Naeem Akbar.
Okay.
Right? He wrote a couple books. One of them that I got on my Facebook page. I mean on my Instagram page. Breaking the Chains of Psychological Slavery. The Willie Lynch John.
Mm-hmm.
From Malehood to Manhood. Naeem Akbar. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot of his books. Like that's where I get my. He's my psychiatrist. Cause
Mm-hmm.
I went down like in the prison system. You asked about the psychiatrist. How does that work? Like I went down and sat down with a psychiatrist one day, and I gave her my whole spill day, and she said to me, she said, "Well, I'm gonna diagnose you with PTSD." And I said, she asked me, "You know what PTSD is?" I said, "Yeah, it's post traumatic stress disorder." She said, "Yeah, people that go to the Marines, get in real bad car accidents, so forth and so on, they diagnosed with PTSD. And from the things you telling me about the way you grew up, um, I diagnosed you with PTSD." And I told her, I said, "Miss, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I feel like I possess something that's a little bit more deeper than PTSD."
Mm.
And she said, "Well, what is that? Because it's nothing else that exists." So I said, "I think I possess something called BTSD." She said, "What is that?" I said, "That's Black Traumatic Stress Disorder."
Mm. Deep.
Right? And I'm saying that since my ancestors has been in this country, the things that they have went through slavery, and then past slavery, civil rights, the 70s, right? And then we get into my era. Because my mother had me in 1986. I was literally born in the crack era.
Mm.
When Ronald Reagan put the war on drugs, my mother was having me the next month.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, and I seen the effects what crack cocaine did to my community. I don't make no excuses about the way that I live. But my mental development, the way that I am as a man, a lot of the mistakes that I've made in my life is because of the things that I experienced as a child.
That makes sense.
So when you talk about the mind being undeveloped, or a person making a lot of the mistakes that we make in life, like me going to jail, me abandoning my family, me selling drugs, so forth and so on, that's all a part of my Black traumatic stress disorder.
Right.
Because I watched my father get hit in his head with a gun. I was 6 years old. My uncle, who was my mentor, I watched him get a life sentence, a double life sentence. He's still fighting for his life to this day. You dig what I'm saying? I watched this. I was a child. I watched my old head get killed on 17th and Dickinson.
Yeah, you seeing some stuff.
I seen some shit.
You seeing some stuff.
So all the things that I've seen mentally, that John got like, I'm not tore up. I fight every day. I do the shadow work, man. I put the work into myself. Coping
Okay.
skills, learning the coping skills, coping mechanisms to deal with the trauma that I'm suffering from. But
Yep.
not only do I suffer from it, my whole family suffer from it.
What you're doing that's very important is you studying it, you
Mm-hmm.
reading on it, you hold yourself accountable. And on this season, man, we really tapping in and we're gonna have some real deep conversations. This was a real beautiful first show. Welcome back, world premiere with my man Umar. He's a really good brother, educated. Got a lot of things he want to do. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff together. He definitely gonna return to Filoosh Talk for sure.
Sure.
So inshallah, So I just want to thank everybody for tapping in. Everybody in the live, people been commenting. I ain't tapping with everybody. We just getting ready, getting booted up on the first show. But I appreciate everybody who tapped into the show. I really appreciate it, man. Welcome back. It's Real Glocker where we here, baby.